Hey everybody, it's Mike. I'm back. I'm ready to do some Hare Krishna stuff. And let's see what's going on here. Hey, we got Fake Human. Hey buddy, how you doing? It's great to see your fake profile picture. Glad you're glad you're here. Let's see. All right. So I want to talk about a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. And I don't even know if any of it makes sense. I don't even and I got some videos to watch. I got a lot of stuff to get to, so I'm going to get right to the opening. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, all right, back. Let's see, who we got here? Howard Johnson. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you here. And let's see what we could do here. And then we got Dahlia Roberts. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Glad you're here. And of course, Fake Human is on the phone with Hot Lips. Gotta get Hot Lips over here. And let's see what we can do. So, before we get into kicking on the face, which I'm sure every Hare Krishna has heard that, every devotee has heard that phrase from Prabhupada, kick on their face. We're going to get to that in just a minute, but I want to show some videos from Rafal. I don't have Knitting Cold Lady today, but I got some videos from Rafal that we can check out. Here we go. There we go. We got the bell, and so these videos, and of course you can see I am right here at the carnival where you can pop the balloons and win a prize. And if you believe this, you can find yourself a guru who's going to take you back to Godhead, because you got about as much chance of doing that as you have winning one of these things. And I'll tell you, when I was at this carnival, a lot of people walking around with the little prize, right? Because they were able to do, pop one balloon or whatever. They had the little prize. Nobody had the big one. Nobody walking around had the big one. Now, every now and then they send somebody out walking around with a big one, just so you think that, oh, he won the big one. But he didn't really win the big one. He's just walking around with it. Everybody's walking around with the little ones. These little ones right here. You see these little ones over here? These little ones right here? That's what everybody's walking around with. Ain't nobody walking around with the big ones. So it's the same thing. You can find yourself a fake guru. But they ain't no real, bullshit. Hey, it's Tim. How you doing, Tim? Good to see you here. And yes, we rang the bell. Let's ring the bell again. There we go. Okay, so Raphael sent some videos in, and I just briefly glanced at them to see what they were. And let's take a look at what we got here. Let me see here. I got to unclutter my computer here. And here we go.
Первое.
So there they are. They're about to set up. They're about to set up and distribute some books in the middle of the city. Right? They're gonna. They're gonna. Pretty much, it's pushing a shopping cart around full of books, and that's what they're gonna do. And they got this bus. Looks like they just bought this bus, and this is their first. Says here, Harinam Sankirtan bus, one day and night. So they're out, and this is what they're doing. This is what they're gonna spend their time doing. Traveling around in this bus and distributing these books, selling books, like a traveling bookstore, I guess. You know, like a traveling book. That's what it is. A traveling bookstore with these freaks cosplaying as holy men out in a bus selling books. Hey, Rafal, this is your video. This. And I know it's like we're so glad we're not doing. We're so glad we're out of this. We're not doing this. It's just. I knew fake human would. That's that's so funny. That is so funny. And Tim, yeah, absolutely. It is secondhand embarrassment, man. It is. It is so. You know, it's so funny. It's such a complete circle because I remember when I was a teenager and I would see these guys out doing this, and we would laugh at them and go, "Well, look at these nuts out here in Westwood and Hollywood Boulevard, Venice Beach, dressed up like this, doing this with their books and their nonsense." And then I became one, and I would go out in the van to Venice Beach and Hollywood Boulevard, and I would do this. And now here I am back out of it going, look at these nuts again, just like I was back when I was a teenager. It's a full circle. A full circle. Yes, exactly. Can't believe I was there. That's exactly what I know. Look at these guys. Wasting their lives away. And they've been misled. They joined this because they believed in some lies and mistruths, half-truth, misinformation, a bunch of stuff that wasn't true. And they didn't know any better, and they believed it. And they're doing Sankirtan. They look like wackos. Yeah, and they have their own bus. And it's just, everyone who does this is insane. Yeah, it's mental illness. It's definitely mental illness. Okay, so let me go back over here. These people that joined, yeah, they joined, but they were misled, okay? They were told a bunch of lies, a lot of lies and misinformation. Lies about Prabhupada. They're not told that he was 22 years old and had an 11-year-old wife, that he's basically a pedophile, had a child marriage. He was a 22-year-old man married to an 11-year-old girl. If someone had told me that right up front, first thing, I would have been like, what? Who? This guy? 11-year-old girl? He was 22, he had an 11-year-old wife? 11-year-old girl, that's not a wife, that's a child. 11 years old is a child. So that's the first thing. Then you're told that this nonsense is 5,000 years old. It's not 5,000 years old. There's no ancient tradition chanting Hare Krishna, dressing up like that and bouncing around and clanging those things and doing this mantra and putting shit on your head and your neck and all of that stuff. That's not 5,000. That's not a 5,000-year-old tradition. That's a lie. It's just not true. Prabhupada's no Vedic scholar. Prabhupada's no Vedic scholar. He's a college dropout.
Jai Jagannath.
This is 5,000 years. No, 5,000 years. Yeah, they've been doing it a long time. They've been doing this a long time, sure. But so what? They used to live in caves. Are we supposed to live in a cave now? Log cabins where we're supposed to live with no plumbing? So what's 5,000 years old? They believed in flying airplanes of flowers, demon heads eating the moon. I'm supposed to... These people are misled. Yeah, they joined, but they've been misled. They've been lied to. They've been lied to. They've been told. They didn't tell me about all the predators that were living on Watsika Avenue. They weren't telling me that, very few kids go to the school. They were telling me, oh yeah, my kid's in the school. My kid's in the school. Their kids weren't in the school. They were sending their kids to other schools, private schools. Why? Because they knew about the sexual abuse and the child abuse in the schools. But they didn't tell me about it. They acted like everything was okay. They lie every chance they get. They don't know if these guys are pure devotees, Sri Dayananda and all of these Indra Yumna and all of these guys. They don't know who these guys are. Brian Tibbetts and Hugh Turvey and Robert Grant and you know who these guys are. And Dickie Slavin cosplaying as a holy man while involved with who knows what going on in New Vrindavan and Dallas and who knows what the Vrindavan. In my opinion, you can tell me that these guys are pure devotees. Give me a fucking break. They ain't pure anything. It's pure bullshit is what it is. And there's a sampradaya going back to friggin' a guy sitting in a mountain talking to an elephant-headed guy. You got to be out of your mind. You want me to believe this stuff? And you acting like these people in that, those are real people? And this Chaitanya guy just like went into a statue? I mean, come on, man. These people get brainwashed into this stuff before they even know the truth. They joined based on a bunch of lies. We all did. We read the Bhagavad Gita thinking it was something that it's not. We read Bhagavatam thinking it is thousands of years old. Or there's Vedic culture, or there's Vedic, it's all a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, we joined, it's our fault we joined, but we were misled. It's like we walk into a store and we want to buy a TV. And the guy goes, or better yet, a used car. You go and you want to buy a car. And the guy sells you a piece of shit, and he knows it's a piece of shit. You don't know. He's showing you, oh look, the doors are good, the tires are good. You drive it off the lot, and 2 days later, the thing falls apart. Engine blows up, door falls off. It's not your fault. You were misled. You were, the guy was dishonest. The guy took you for a ride. It's like telling me, you pop 3 of those balloons, you're going to win this big prize. Yeah, I'm stupid for trying it. I was trying it, but I didn't know any better. I didn't realize the guy's scamming everybody. I'm seeing people walking around with with things, and the guy with the big, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'll pop the balloon. No, it's a scam. You're not going to tell me it's a scam. We got taken for a ride. Yeah, we joined the cult, but we got taken for a ride. I'm pissed I got taken for a ride. And all the people that lied to me when I went up to the temple and I was asking questions and looking and trying to figure shit out. These people are lying to me. So that I'll take a book, or so that I'll do this or I'll do that, or straight up lie. Come on, man. Got holy people cosplaying, people cosplaying as holy men and holy this and holy that, and they're just straight up lying. Wait until the video how they sleep. No, I haven't seen. I haven't watched any of them really. I got your thing and I was checking them out. So glad mistyped. Fake humility on steroids. Yeah. Yeah, this guy, Indra Swami's son, Gora Tibbets, is rocking like a millionaire. His dad became rich because of ISKCON. This man, Visvambar Charles Tal, who once hated ISKCON gurus, is now kissing his feet on Facebook. These guys are all scammers, man. You can't, it's hard to trust anybody in this movement. If I look at it this way, man, if people aren't speaking out like we are, like people in here, like I am, like Tim and Fake Human and Dahlia and all these and Howard Johnson and Rafael and all. If you're not speaking out and you don't recognize what's going on, I almost don't trust people. There's too many of these fake Hare Krishnas that are out pretending that they're ex-devotees or they're ex-this or that, only to freaking muddy the waters and try to pretend like shit ain't that bad, or we got an agenda, we got this or that. It's all kinds of bullshit. And I spot these people, man, because I know if you're in a cult and you come out of a cult, you have a certain mentality. You recognize what you've been in and what's happened. And if you just get in the cult and then just leave and you don't recognize that it was a cult, it's just not for you, I don't want to do that no more. And you ain't, I don't know, I don't 100% trust that you really know what's going on. I just don't. Sure, you might be an ex-devotee and you left. You don't do that no more. But there's a lot of people that left, but they're still devotees. Up here, they're still devotees. And they want to play games, and they want to play games with us. Those of us that are out, like it's our fault, or we don't understand, or we're offended. They still got that friggin' cult mentality. And fuck that shit. This cult lies, cheats, dishonest, misrepresents, bullshits. Yeah, we made a mistake and we joined, and that is on us. But we were lied and cheated and fooled. And we were sincere when we went. We were sincerely looking for something. It's not like we were out to con somebody and then we got conned. That's different. Hey, Trey, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. Good to see you. I want to watch a little bit more of this, and I want to get to the next video.
Говорили, что в час.
So, hey, Queen of Karma, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm doing great. You look at these guys. So, look at these guys. These guys, they've completely lost their identity. Their whole identity is how much they identify in the cult. They all have the short hair or the shaved heads, the ponytails, the sika. They're all wearing the dhotis. And eating off of the metal plates. Nobody has any individuality. Like nobody's saying, "Hey, I want to eat this, or I want to eat that, or I'm going to wear this, or I'm going to wear this." It's none of it. It's completely given up their individuality. It's like they're not even an individual person anymore. They're just a pawn in this game. They're just a cog. Just a cog in the machine of life, in the machine of ISKCON. Just rotating around like a cog, a cog. Everybody looks the same. Every cog is the same, and it's all part of this big machine that moves. And they have no individual identity at all. It's just, and they can't even recognize it because they've been tricked into thinking that this is some ancient tradition, some 5,000-year-old Vedic cult. This is Vedic culture, man. It's Vedic. It's Vedic this and Vedic that, when they've just been conned. They've been conned into throwing unpointy darts at unfilled balloons that will never pop. That's what they've been conned into doing. It's really sad. They give up their identity to the cult. It's so sad to see. Yeah, and they don't even realize it. Because it's cosplaying. So you actually feel like I'm being spiritual. I'm putting on spiritual clothes, and I'm cutting my head so I can be spiritual, and I can get to this spiritual platform. Everything is spiritual, spiritual, spiritual. And it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Let me see if we get to the next. I want to see what this next video is. Let's see here. Wait, is there something on this video? Oh, yes, there is. Okay. So, night falls. Night falls on the Harinam Sankirtan bus. And now it's bedtime. Bedtime for Bonzo. Bedtime for Bozo.
Мой спальник лежит на матрасе.
Trey says, cult tactics such as shaving the head is part of the dehumanizing and loss of identity brainwash they do to their men. Yes, and if you want to, if you keep that point, when you join the army, first thing they do is shave your head. And you all wear a uniform, and you have a shaved head, and you lose your identity. You're just another cog in the machine called the U.S. Army, and or the Marines, or whatever it is, whichever branch it is. But it's the same thing. It's you are no longer an individual. You are part of a cult. You're part of a cult. That's it. Actually, they're ready to give up their lives for their gurus or Krishna. Yeah, they're so misguided that they Russian sleeping roulette. Yeah, they're so misguided. They're so deluded.
Индия.
As you can see, they're sleeping on this bus. This is their life. This is their life. They sleep on this bus. They eat on this bus. They distribute their books. This is it, and they think that they are. I don't know what they. I don't know what they think they're on their on a spiritual journey to go back to Godhead. so they can get an 11-year-old body, girl, female body, 11-year-old little girl body, and have sex with Krishna. It is amazing. Queen of Karma, yes, I have a 2-hour interview with an amazing woman who left Hare Krishna on my channel. It was quite the conversation. She spoke very openly about the abuse. Yeah, I got to watch. I watched the beginning of it. I didn't get to watch all of it. I got to watch a little bit of it, and it's great. It's great to see people speaking out because it really helps new people that have doubts, people that don't know, to really hear firsthand what's going on. You know, it's just personal stories are so powerful, and it's really great that you did that. Trey Martin says, I saw the interview you did on the brave woman who was an ex-cult member exposing the truth. Queen of Karma, thank you for doing these. True stories are everything. Yes, they are. It's so powerful. A true story is so powerful. George Harrison from the Beatles was in this cult, and he wrote songs for them. Not only did he write songs for them, but he paid for some books to be printed. He paid for the Krishna books, the first edition printing, like the first 10,000 or 100,000 copies, the original books. George Harrison paid for those books to be printed, and they have the foreword of the book is written by George Harrison, and it's signed. So if you have any of those old Krishna books, which I used to have, it's got George Harrison did the foreword. But he paid. He bought buildings for them. He donated money to give for books. He did a lot. He did a lot more. He produced some of their music albums. He did a lot. They scammed him. Let's just put it that way. They scammed him for a lot of money, for a lot of stuff. They definitely scammed him. Because if he knew what was really going on, I don't think he would have had anything to do with it. And he was a Hare Krishna as far as he wasn't really following any rules, but he did chant, he had beads, and he'd go to their temples, and he donated a bunch of money. He gave them money all the time. He definitely got caught up in it, just like Tom Cruise and whatever. Yeah, it looks so uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. It is totally uncomfortable. Yeah, great. It's great that you did that. I love that you're Queen of Karma. I also saw part of your interview. Very interesting. Yeah, she was, and that woman's story is so common. It's the same stories over and over. And I'm not meaning to laugh. But it's just, and everyone's got their story. Yeah, George Harrison donated a house to ISKCON, and yeah, it's still there. And I think he may have donated some other buildings too, or helped them purchase some buildings. He did a lot. It is said he might have helped build some temples by donating to that. Yeah, he gave him a lot of money. He gave him a lot of money. He got it. There's a video of him in Vrindavan right before he passed away. He went and visited Vrindavan, and that video is on YouTube.
Сколько вас там? 40.
Сейчас будет больше.
Сейчас еще кто-нибудь приедет, главное, чтобы ноги не проваливали.
Давай, брать.
Только свет зря включили, потому что там сейчас комарьоны. Походу места нет. Места там нету.
That's just crazy. It's just insane. When I watch that now, and I just think that's just insanity. That's just insanity. Now let's watch this guy. I guess this is a guru. He's guru / bus driver. That's what this guy is. And yeah, he did some songs about it. He did that. Hey, look, we got Voice Down Under. Hey, T, how you doing? Great to see you here, man. I'm excited to have Queen of Karma and Voice Down Under. Have both of you here in my chat. That's just amazing. So check this guy out. This is a guru / bus driver, I guess. Let's see what he's up to. Ah, another bus load of these guys.
Так.
I mean, I guess they look happy. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say if they look happy or not. It's questionable. It's questionable if they look happy. But yeah, there they are traveling around in a bus. It's like a big shopping cart. It's like a big giant shopping cart of books that they can drive around and set up shop wherever they are, and they can distribute these books and put on like a little circus show to get attention. And then when the people come to watch and go, "What are these? Who are these crazy people?" Then they start distributing their books. Where do they sleep in the? That was them sleeping. The earlier video was them sleeping. And where do they use the bathroom? Hey, wherever, wherever you can, I guess. Hey, thanks for the shout out. I appreciate it. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe, please. That's great. Here's another one. We got one more video here of these freaks. Let's see what's going on. Let me see what do we got here. Here we go. I don't know what this one is. Let's see.
Ничего на свете лучше нету, чем бродить друзьям по белу свету. Тем, кто дружен, не страшны тревоги, нам любые дороги. Нам любые дороги.
Oh my God. Oh, look at this guy.
Мы свое призвание не забудем, смех и радость мы приносим людям. Нам дворцов заманчивые своды не заменят никогда свободы. Не заменят никогда свободы. Наш ковер цветочная поляна, наши стены сосны великаны, наша крыша небо голубое, наше счастье жить такой судьбою, наше счастье жить такой судьбою.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So basically come join our cult and you can be a traveling freak. The traveling freak circus. You can that is, oh wait, I got a new name here. Oh yes. Jai Shri Avadut Raghunath Ramachandra Madhusudana Shri Chaitanya Srinivas Gopal Shri Srila Mukundadas Mahagura Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai. Oh, hey, yeah. Oh my God, pure propaganda. Yeah, doesn't that look like fun? Doesn't that look like fun? Don't you want to join? Now you notice there's no women on that bus. It's just guys. There's no women on that bus. These guys don't want anything to do with women. They don't want anything to do with women. It's the best way. They don't want anything to do with women. The traveling circus. I'm telling you, man. It is. Oh my goodness. Look at them dancing, brahmachari and sannyasi. Where's the vodka? Blink twice if you need it. Oh my goodness. You see the guy hanging off the back? Did you see the guy hanging off the back of the, like, that's low vibe. I know, it's low vibe. I'm low vibe, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is too funny. This is too funny. Oh, that's just pure devotees. They're not pure anything. That's pure insanity. It's pure insanity. My mom loves anything Indian. She even joined a bloody Indian dating site to try to find a husband for a visa because she wants to go there and live there by herself. Yeah, I like India. India's fun. I mean, you don't have to join a cult you don't have to join a cult, you know. Yeah, he steals the show. That guy in the back looks. Man, they're just waste. Okay, now this is the real point of it, though. This is the real point. Waste of a human life. These young men should be out in the real world being good citizens. Instead, they are setting up for becoming old, no health insurance, no income, and homelessness. And then eventually they're going to, some of them are going to realize that they've wasted 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, like me, 20 years. I wasted it. Just blew it away. Just fucked it right off. 20 years of my life just gone. And nothing to show for it. Like what? What do I have to show for it? What did I get out of it? Absolutely zero. When I could have put those 20 years to work for me. I could have done something. I could have been a contender. I could have done something with those 20 years. Instead, I didn't give a shit about anything except Hare Krishna and chanting and going to India and Vrindavan and reading these books and distributing these books and a bunch of bullshit. I also sailed on that. You also, yeah. I mean, that's what being a Hare Krishna is. That's what being a Hare Krishna is recognizing that bus and those people on there, and you're either doing it or you're supporting it or you're working at the temple while that bus is out or van is out, and you know those people that are on it or you're on. I mean, that's what a Hare Krishna is. I mean, to be fair, their voices aren't too bad. Well, they can carry a tune. They can carry a tune. That's not bad. Girl, we got to save your mama. Yeah, put a star there. You don't want to. Be careful. All I can say is be careful. Be careful. It is insane. It is insanity. It's insanity. What else we got here? Okay, so I'm going to just show a little bit of this video before I get into the kick on the face. I want to just show a little bit of this, and so you can kind of see. We saw the new guys out on the road, and all the brahmacharis and whatever trying to do their thing. I'm gonna watch this guy. Let me see. This is an old-time devotee, and been around forever, I guess. Let's see.
So this is the book
What do I got? I got a commercial in here? No. Here we go.
Compiled by Amayatma Prabhu, disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. My first question, Prabhu, why did you compile this book? What was the intent or reason behind putting it in papers? Short as possible.
As short as possible. Well, at first, I started with just one point that I wanted to make, and I was going to make a video for it. I was going to write an article, and I decided to do a video. And what the book is based on is a video script that I had made of, it wound up being 30 hours of videos. And so then I have now converted that into a book. But at first, it was just to make one point, and then I came up, Krishna gave me another realization and another realization. And within a month, I was just, I knew I was just going to have to document the entire issue from beginning to end, and the historical aspect, everything. Because I wanted, I knew which system, I knew then what Prabhupada wanted, and I wanted to help devotees, give them the basis of
So here we got, my evil twin. There we go. Get rid of him there. So there you see, I mean, before I talk about that, what do we got here? Isn't it true as well that if you get an Indian citizenship, you have to surrender any others you have? Depends. The requirements can be different for each country, I guess. That, you can get a dual citizenship. There's such things as those, but I don't know what the qualifications are, but I would check into it. Let me see. Here we go. I know many elderly Hare Krishnas who have to still be out on the streets collecting money through the pick because they got no other choice. They never worked a job in their lives. Yes, as I've been saying, there's a woman at the LA Temple that I knew when I was at the LA Temple 30 years ago, over 30 years ago, Radharani, and she's out. She'd go out and sell books in the neighborhood. She'd sell books at farmers markets and Venice Beach, wherever she'd go. She was always out, DMV, Costco, whatever. And here it is 30 years later, she's still doing the same thing. She's still out selling books, and she's probably 65 years old maybe by now. She's probably the same age as me. So you got to be in her mid-60s. She's still out selling books at the Hollywood Bowl and wherever. She's just with her little bag of books, and she's still doing it. She never worked a day in her life. She's been doing that for her whole friggin' life. Selling these books. Living on whatever she gets and she's never worked a job. And most Hare Krishna is the same way. And I got to say, Queen of Karma, you're absolutely right. Oh, they work jobs. It's just for free for the cult, labor, exploitation. Absolutely. She's out selling books. That's her job, is to sell books for the cult, for the temple, for the BBT, for Prabhupada, for however you want to look at it. That's her job. She's just not getting paid for it. You're absolutely right. It's exploitation. She could go, if she wanted to sell books, she could work for Amazon, or she could work for the library, or she could work for a bookstore somewhere. Barnes and Noble or Borders or whatever, these bookstores. If she could work for one of those bookstores, she could have worked for Barnes and Noble for 25 years and retired with a 401k and Social Security and all of that. No, she'd been selling books out of a bag in a Costco parking lot or at the Hollywood Bowl for 35 years. And she got nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing to show for it. She didn't get no Social Security. She didn't get no Medicare, no Medi-Cal. She didn't get nothing. I had many ask me for shelter many times. One friend had donated her house to Narayan Maharaj, and she is a beggar for home and shelter now. Her husband at old age begs at the supermarket parking lot. Yeah, that's, you know, so one time, oh, this was back in the mid-'90s. In the mid-'90s, I went on a road trip with my daughter. We were going up the coast, you know, like camping or something. And we were up in like Monterey or San Luis Obispo, somewhere like that. And we were like at the we just stopped somewhere like in I think it was Monterey. We were like at the, you know, where the touristy area is, where you go, you get ice cream and hot dogs or whatever, and you know, like a pier or a wharf or something. And I had my neck beads on, and I had my bead bag, and my daughter's with me. And we're walking around, and I bump into these two old Prabhupada disciples, women, they were older. They were already older. I was like 30 something. They were like in their 50s. So they were around like in the 60s or the early 70s. They were, because they told me, they told me their names, and they told me their whole story, because they bumped into me, and they're like, "Oh, you're a devotee. You've got neck beads and a bead bag." So they stopped me, and they're like, and so then they told me, "Oh, my name is whatever, and I'm a Prabhupada disciple from whenever I joined in," because everyone's got a story. So they told me their story, and at the time I didn't think much of it, because I was new to the whole Hare Krishna thing. But when I think back on it now, it's like, here they were, selling books just like this Radharani character. Here they are in their 50s, probably joined when they were in their 20s or whatever, back in 1968 or 69. And, you know, they're probably in their late 40s, 50s maybe. And they're selling Prabhupada's books at down in Monterey on the wharf or whatever it is. That's their whole life. Their whole life, just begging with a book. Begging with a book. It's so sad. It is so sad. They don't know any better. Or they, like my friend, my roommate, driving a taxi. I knew like 3 or 4 guys at the LA Temple. They just drove taxis. Actually, I knew 3 guys that were taxi drivers, and 2 guys were security guards. 2 guys that worked security guards, and my roommate and this other guy were taxi drivers. I think there was 3 guys that were taxi drivers right there on Watsika Avenue. They don't know how to do anything else. They don't know how to do it. They just don't know how to do anything else. Sri Mukunda Das, Mahaguru Maharaj, please save these Iskanites and Rick Vicks from the cult of Gaudiya and Srila Prabhupada. I know, I'm trying to warn them. I think there's a few in here watching right now, which is good. The bedtime stories, they're pushing a shopping cart full of books around Costco parking lot, full of fairy tales and Mother Goose type stories. It's just selling books only to be paid in prashad, to be paid in food. Selling books to be paid in food. I did that, and boy, was it absolutely fucking stupid. Thank goodness I no longer do all of that. I know. It's just the selling of the books. The selling of the books, man. Same here. 15 Gitas in hands, 40 in my book bag for 8 hours a day. Ruined my back. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, you got to have the good shoes. You're absolutely right. You got to have, ask Rafael. Rafael, you got to have good shoes on, right, when you're doing your book. You got to have the good shoes on. Yeah, that's a lot, man. That is a lot. Such a waste of life. That's what cults take from people. It takes everything from them. It takes their ability to critically think, to think for themselves. It takes away, like, it just wastes their years of their lives are just gone. It ruins these things. Like some of these people in the Reddit group have said that this chanting and this cult will rewire your brain. And it does. It's like a virus. It's like a computer virus. It gets in there and it fucks it up. And even though you leave, you don't want anything to do with it, there's still damage done. There's still, one person was saying, like me, sometimes, because as a Hare Krishna and all my trips to India, we don't touch food with our left hand. I was like, that's wrong. You're not supposed to touch food with your left hand. You only touch food with your right hand, and this finger is dirty, and all of these things. And someone was saying, I still don't touch stuff with my finger or use my left hand, or so many of these mental things that are still left over in the head. Still left over in the head. Like dropping something on the floor and picking it up and touching it to your head, because that's what Hare Krishnas do. If they drop money on the floor, they touch it to their head. It's or the way they drink water. Don't touch the glass to their lips, or just certain things. And people were saying, because the cult it rewires it can take years for this stuff to go away. Sometimes some of it never goes away. It just never goes away. The boredom of doing the same thing over and over and being told that it's transcendental bliss, and this is what's going to get you to the God's planet, and this is going to spiritual. It's spiritual blackmail. It's emotional blackmail. It's manipulation. It's violence. It's violence against your mind. Gaslighting. All this stuff about aparad and rules, and that's all what we call gaslighting. Oh, if you do this, Prabhu, you're going to get your aparad, and then the offenses is going to build, and then, you can't never get rid of. I knew more than a few elderly Madhajis who are homeless, jobless, and begging like that outside of markets and supermarkets. It's sad to see them in their 60s and 70s. Absolutely. I'm not making this up. This is what I'm saying. All of you out there, all you new people out there, this is what you have to look forward to. You're going to be pushing a shopping cart around Costco parking lot, selling bedtime stories, mythology, and Mother Goose books. It's crazy. For free. You're selling them for free because you're not getting anything out of it. They're just exploiting you left and right and center. Got to put on the Nikes. Got to put on the good. You got to put on the good shoes, man. You can't distribute books in those big wooden shoes with that big thing going through your toe. You can't wear those on book distribution. Good shoes, Prabhu. Good shoes. Imagine the superintendent shouting at neophytes and new devotees. You got to have good shoes. You're going to do book distribution. You can't distribute books in those wooden shoes that these fakers, like Shodananda wants to walk around in these wooden shoes like that's some kind of achievement or something. This is such bullshit. Like, I'm better than you because I'm wearing wooden shoes with a big thing going through my toes. This is crazy. It does. I'm actually working on an article describing the euphoric feeling that people get and what chanting does to your brain, according to neuroscience. Yeah, dude, great. Work on that article. That's great because the euphoria that they call transcendental bliss, or this euphoria, this babbling. I'll show you some wackos. You stick with it. We'll get to Gora Haridas. I'll show you some wackos. These people that think that that this chanting is giving them some kind of transcendental bliss, they're just enjoying it like anybody enjoys anything else. There's no difference. Some people enjoy playing golf. Some people enjoy watching golf. Some people enjoy flying a kite, whatever it is. And that enjoyment, those endorphins that are going off in your brain when you're doing whatever it is that you like, are no different than anybody else's endorphins that are going off when they're enjoying something. Now, freaky, weird people like psychopaths and sociopaths, they get endorphins start going off when they start doing weird things, like weird things. That's not normal. That's not normal. It's just not normal. But throwing darts at a balloon and trying to win a prize is fun. It's fun. And it's no different than any other kind of fun. And if you're being told that pushing a shopping cart around the Costco parking lot is fun, and you've been brainwashed into believing that that's fun, then you're going to enjoy it just like anything else. But it's no different. You can say, oh, when I'm pushing a shopping cart around Costco, I'm in transcendental bliss. And it's just the most ecstatic, euphoric feeling I've ever had. Bullshit. Bullshit. I think the left-hand thing is common for Asian cultures anyway. Yes, absolutely. If you grow up in a culture where you don't touch food with your left hand and you wipe with your left hand, then I can understand that. But I grew up in Culver City. I grew up in Los Angeles, California. I don't have to wipe my hand with my left hand. I don't have to think of my left hand as dirty and my right hand is clean and all of these weird things. I don't have to do that. I don't have to cosplay in that way. I don't have to cosplay in that way. I'm not going to be gaslit into believing these type of things. Now, if you come from a culture where that happens, and that's what you do, I totally I understand that. The saddest thing is nobody gives a damn about the elders who work their life away for the temples. Many are disabled from the free service provided. Well, see, that's the thing. If you can be like this guy, then you can be old and you can be revered and respected, and you can be called His Grace.
You know, the evidence.
For just $37, you can generate as many videos as you want and never have to worry about.
So they can make their own decisions.
What did Prabhupada wanted according to you for which
And you can write books, and you can write your own
clear.
books.
I mean, the May 28th meeting and the July 9th letter are just a straight line of them asking how the initiation is going to be conducted in the future when he's no longer present.
Why is he His Grace? What makes him graceful? What did he do? What did this guy do to be called His Grace? Gentleness on steroids. The sad thing is the elders don't get any health care or medicine either to help them out. No, they don't. This guy doesn't get any more Social Security or anything. He doesn't get any of that. What he does get is he gets to sell his own books. He gets to scam people and get donations and do that. He's on his way to being some kind of scammer guru guy where he can make a living doing that. Yeah, he's not gonna. He doesn't get the. You don't get the perks unless you're, you got a title in front of your name, and he can write books and maybe run a temple. If he moves up, it's like multi-level marketing. This is like a multi-level marketing. If he can move his way up, he's gonna get the opportunity to sell books and get donations and do shit like that. Otherwise, he's going to be pushing a shopping cart of books around Costco parking lot just like everybody else. Just like everybody else. I still touch the holy moly money to my head. Trust me, it's hilarious even after the cult and becoming self-aware of the cult. Yeah, I sometimes I do that too. Because where I am here, the money has the king's face on it. And you're supposed to be very respectful of the money because of the king is on it. So dropping money or disrespecting money here is frowned upon. And because of that, sometimes if I drop money or something, I touch it to my head. And it's a total cult thing, and I'm totally aware of it. Other times, sometimes I don't want to touch food with my left hand just because it's wired into my brain. It's just wired into my brain. I've spent so much time in India there that that shit's wired into my brain. But I'll do it. I mean, I'll eat a hamburger. I'll eat a hamburger with both hands. I'm eating beef. I don't care. I'll eat it with my left hand. That's the real test. That's the real test when you're out of the Hare Krishna cult, is eating a hamburger with your left hand. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you're not eating a hamburger with your left hand, you're not out of the cult. If you're a man and need free shelter and free food, there is a temple named Radha Kunj in Vrindavan. They'll give you room and board if you hate women, love their guru, and become their monk. Yeah, that's a real holy place. See, they won't just give you food and board and everything like that. You have to worship their guy, and you have to, take these vows and all of this stuff. It's similar to faith healers. They give people the same sort of feeling. It's an interesting phenomenon that humans experience in spiritualities. I find it fascinating. Let's take a look. Now that we're on this subject, let's just go ahead and take a look at what we're talking about. Let's go ahead and take a look and I'm sorry, but I find it disturbing, and I find it I find this guy to be a big cheater, and now I can't find him. Oh, it didn't come up. Okay. I'm sorry, everybody. My computer is not cooperating. Okay, here he is. Where is okay, so this guy, he says he can get people into spiritual ecstasy at the drop of a hat, and this is what he does. This guy is such. So he's got these people so deluded.
Hare Krishna, 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 Hare. At the most. Well, maybe more if she's feeling generous. Krishna, Krishna, Radhe, 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 Radhe. Oh, the Vaishnavas are here. So many.
So he's got these people so deluded.
Souls, please accept my humble obeisances.
That she goes into she thinks she's in some kind of spiritual ecstasy by listening to his voice and hearing him chant. It sends her into these giggling fits, tears and giggling just from hearing him. Just the sound of his voice while he blows his nose. Of course, he has to blow his nose.
Festival. I want a festival. I love festivals. I love pandals.
He actually thinks he's a guru and that he's teaching and he's giving her something. And she's so brainwashed.
A bloody festival.
Only beautiful women can worship.
I think she might be. I don't know if.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Only the most.
I'm. I also. I tend to, the more. Excuse me. The more I watch this woman and I watch her interaction with him, the more I feel that he's taking advantage of her, and I feel like maybe she might have some issues that he's exploiting, and he's got her in this state of mind. That's what I believe. Yep, it's all part of the mind control. Pentecostal cults use music. Yeah, it's all tied together. The music, everything. Shopping cart bliss. Shopping cart. Yeah, you're free to wipe your butt with whatever hand you want. Yeah, but you should use paper. If you want to wipe your butt with your hand, you should use paper. But some Hare Krishnas, they don't use paper. They think paper is dirty. They use their hand. Okay, they actually use their hand. The repetition and auditing. Not only that, but it's this brainwashing. Yeah, it's all a hierarchy that climbs the pyramid. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. It's a spiritual, multi-level marketing. They serve ice cream feast, feed them like pigs in there. The only thing is you have to cosplay you're a monk, wear orange cloth, hate and mistreat women, and they even get their air conditioning. So, you know, that is like such coercion. It's such coercion. Congrats, time to chill, some beers. Yep, absolutely. Eat a hamburger with your left hand. Yeah, that's what I got to do. I had to do. It was a test. It was a test. Hey, Queen of Karma, thanks for coming by. Glad to see you. It's always great, doing great work. Come by again. Have a great night. I know, look at this. Hot dogs and hamburgers. Yeah, that's when you know you're out, is when you can eat a double quarter pounder with your left hand. And then you know that you're no longer tied. You're no longer tied to that cult. I'm so giggling. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The monkey see, monkey do. Yeah, absolutely see this.
Beautiful women can worship Krishna according to his satisfaction.
Hare Rama,
Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna. Don't be shy. Come on up, everybody. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
That'll be proof that you want a single embrace from Radha. Otherwise, you're not hungry enough. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, 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 Krishna.
Look at him smiling and laughing, blowing his nose. Yeah, you know, I've kind of turned the page on this, and now I'm really disturbed by it. I'm really more disturbed at it, that he's really taking advantage of this woman. I really feel like maybe she might have some mental issues. She might have some mental issues. She might have maybe learning disability or some cognitive issues. I don't know what it is, but I honestly think that he's taking advantage of her. I agree with you. This honestly makes me sick. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling now. That's exactly how I'm feeling now. I used to watch it and go, wow, look at her. She's giggling and she's crying and she's doing all of this stuff and she's, you know, man, she's crazy. But now I'm actually starting to feel like, I really feel like she's being taken advantage of in a disturbing way. In a disturbing way. I'm starting to feel like she has some might have some issues, and I shouldn't. I'm not trying to diagnose her, but I do feel like she might have some issues, and I feel like he's taking advantage of her, and I don't like it. I think it's disgusting. I think it's really disgusting, and that's. Yeah, I just I can't. It's yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I look at it as a Hayden. Good to see you, Hayden. This man is such a con artist. He is, and it's disturbing to me now. I find this disturbing with him blowing his nose. I find it very disturbing that what he's doing with this girl, with this woman. I used to think it was kind of funny. I thought it was a little, a little out there. But now I actually think it's disturbing. I do. I think it's more, I don't know. You see this in Scientology and other cults. She has most likely been embedded with commands covertly, which is common in cults, through mind control techniques. Yeah, she's the whole transcendental ecstasy, the chanting of the holy names releases transcendental ecstasy, and the transcendental ecstasy is the laughing and the giggling and the acting crazy. And he has her convinced that she is in that state, that she is on that level of loving God so much that she's out of control with her emotions. She giggles and she laughs and she cries and tears and all of these things. And that ain't real. That ain't real. He's got her. He's definitely got her under some kind of spell, and I think he feeds on it. I think he's getting this thing off of it. He sees her in this state, and he's like, I'm doing this to her, and he makes him. It's a disgusting fucking thing. I'm. Virtual, yeah, it's bliss, transcendental Zoom bliss. It's bliss by messenger. I don't know what it is. Keywords and language are implanted into people without their knowledge, and then when they are said, they can have a desired effect attached to it. Yeah, he's done that. He's like, you hear this when you hear this chanting, when you hear me chanting, you're gonna go nuts. He's definitely got her believing that. He's got her believing that when she hears the names Radha and Krishna, it's like a self hypnosis or a duo hypnosis. Like he's encouraging the hypnosis and she's hypnotizing herself at the same time. It's a dual hypnosis thing. When you hear me chant and sing, you're going to go nuts. She's like, okay, I'm going to go nuts. That's exactly. Scientologists truly believe they can go anywhere in the universe from the comfort of their living room. Yeah, Hare Krishnas believe they're going to travel too. It's crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. And and it's crazy. All of this Hare Krishna stuff is crazy on every level. Let me get to this kicking on the face of these fake preachers like this Gaura Haridas. This Gaura Haridas. Oh, man, he's got her. He's got her friggin'. Why the chanting has to be regular. Yeah, it's got to be constant, and it's got to be absolutely. She tried to tell me that he is giving her love of God, and I told her, you're nuts. If you think he's giving you love of God, you're crazy. You're delusional. You're crazy. But that's what she thinks. That's what she thinks. Giving her love of God. So I wanted to go over this thing about kicking on the face, and because we know that Prabhupada has said about shooting people that don't believe in Krishna, that in the future we just shoot people that don't believe in Krishna, and we can use the atom bomb. There was that lecture where these people were threatening them, and Prabhupada was just sitting there, and Madhu Visa got up and said, we'll kick your ass we'll meet your violence with violence. If you want to come be violent with us, we'll be violent right back at you. And Prabhupada didn't say anything. He was just like, yeah, okay. See, Prabhupada's like, these are my goons, and if you want to get violent with me, my goons will stand up to you, and they'll fight back. And I'm not afraid of you. I got my goons here. It's exactly what that's exactly what happened. Prabhupada knew that he had these goons. He knew he had Yashodanandan and Brahmananda and Gargamuni and Kirtanananda and all these goons and Guru Kripa and all of these guys that would do anything for him. He had people that would go and shoot people for him, shoot a guy in a van, shoot people in New Vrindavan and bury them under a river. Prabhupada knew that every cult is basically a death cult. And Hare Krishna is no different. Prabhupada knew. These guys were violent, and they said many times, we're not afraid. We'll defend our guru. If you offend our guru, we'll rip your tongue out, or we'll kill you, or we'll walk away. They have three options, Prabhupada says. You can walk away, you can cut their tongue out, or you can kill them. That's what you do to an offender. That's why they shot the guy in his van. That's why they buried those people under a river in New Vrindavan. This isn't a, and Prabhupada says, this is not a peace-loving, peace and love movement. Prabhupada wasn't all like peace and love. So this is from the pod page, Krishna 1008, and he puts up a thing here that says, "Kick on their face." This is dated September 28, 2025. And what got me was this guy says, "Dear Prabhus, whenever outsiders hear the ISKCON cult leaders greedily chatting together, they become amazed at how disoriented and lost these spiritual leaders are. Prabhupada often stated that bogus gurus should, quote, get kicked on their faces, unquote. And he did. He says that many times. But this person goes on and says, factually, sometime one of Srila Prabhupada's expressions should not be taken literally. Well, why shouldn't it be taken literally? He says that one should take one's boot and shove it in the face of the opponent. It means challenging the oppressors who could use the figurative kick of common sense in order to awaken from their unique forms of cult-infatuated sleeping sickness. All the following quotes from Srila Prabhupada are about becoming bold enough to verbally outsmart the demonic entities. Okay, so I just want to say, that's not what Prabhupada is saying. Okay? He says, Prabhupada's expression should not be taken literally, that one should take one's boot and shove it in the face of the opponent. It means challenging the oppressors who could use the figurative kick of common sense in order to awaken from their unique forms of cult infatuated sleeping. Prabhupada doesn't say figuratively. He doesn't say anything like that at all. He doesn't say anything like that. This is what Prabhupada actually says, and he says it, and this person puts the quotes in his statement, which makes it easy. So Prabhupada says, this is what Prabhupada says. He says, now let us hear Prabhupada on the matter. Quote, so Krishna is such powerful, we should know what Krishna is. And these rascals, they are becoming incarnation of Krishna, Krishna personally present. Where is your power like this? If somebody kicks on your face with boot, you cannot do anything, and you are becoming God. You see, and this is from a lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam 1-2-17, Los Angeles, August 20th, 1972. So Prabhupada is not saying if someone kicks on your face with a boot, you cannot do anything. He's not saying that figuratively. Nowhere is he saying, nowhere is he inferring that that is a metaphor or an analogy. He's saying if somebody kicks you in the face, you cannot do anything. He's saying these incarnations, these people who say that they're Krishna, or that they're guru, or that they're whatever, you kick them in the face with your boot, they can't do anything. They're not God. He's not saying figuratively kick them with logic. That's not what he's saying here. That's just not what he's saying here. So let's see what the next one, what he says. He says, just like they are thinking that we are making Christians, Hindus, this is nonsense. We are not concerned with Hindus, Muslims, Muslims, or Christians. We are not. If these boys, they're educated boys, they have no business to come. Many become Hindu from Christian. They have no business. There are many people before me. Many swamis went there to make Christians Hindus. They kicked on their face. They did not become successful because they talked nonsense. So I don't know what he's saying there. Many people before me, many swamis went there to make Christians Hindu. They kicked on their face. It doesn't sound like he's talking about violence, but I don't know. So the next one, he says, so avatar should be understood from the Shastra, not by jugglery or magic. This is rascal. As soon as one wants to establish his avatarship by jugglery and magic, kick him out immediately on the face, directly. Kick him. Let the avatar take steps. I don't mind. If he's avatar, let him kill me. All right? But I shall kick him on his face. Lecture on the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:7-25. So right there, I'm not sure what he's saying there, but it sounds like he's saying, this is a rascal. As soon as one wants to establish his avatarship by jugglery and magic, kick him out immediately on the face, directly. Kick him out. Or kick him. And then he says, if he's avatar, let him kill me, all right, but I shall kick him on his face. An eye for an eye, a boot for a boot. So I don't know. Right there, it doesn't sound like he's saying, it doesn't sound like he's using this as a metaphor or an analogy or allegorically. He's saying, kick him. And if he kills me, all right, but I shall kick him on his face. He doesn't say, I will defeat him with logic, I will defeat him with words. I mean, he could have said that if that's what he was saying, if that's what he wanted to say. He could have said, he has no argument against my arguments. If he says he's avatar, I can defeat him with my words. He's no match for Shastra and devotion and Lord Chaitanya and the six Goswamis. No, he doesn't say that. He says, if he's avatar, let him kill me. All right, but I shall kick him on his face. Kick him out immediately on the face. Kick him. Kick him. So I always took it to mean kick him. That's what I took it to mean. I never took it as an analogy or as a metaphor or figuratively. Kick him with logic. I don't know where he gets that idea. So here he says something else, because Prabhupada uses this term, kick on the face. He uses it a lot, as you can see. He uses it a lot in his books and in his lectures and in his when he's talking. So here he says, so this is the case not only with the Pandavas, but every one of us. When somebody dies, big man, big scientist, big politician, big philosopher, when he's dead, the big name, here is Mr. Nixon, here is Mr. Sir Isaac Newton, or this is name, Nama Rupyam. Nam means name and Rupa means form. So long as we are living, our name, our fame, our form, our activities are glorious, very good. And as soon as the life is gone, nobody cares. It is a lump of matter. That's all. Now, at the end, when one is living, a big man, nobody can go before him or touch him. There are so many guards, but the same man, when he's dead, if he's lying on the floor, if somebody kicks on his face, nobody cares. Finished. Lecture, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.838. Frustrated old chemist who elevated himself to a position of a guru, purest of all, the embodiment of creepiness. He's talking about kicking people in the face, and he's talking about kicking people in the face. So here he's saying, he's using the same term. He's saying if he's dead and he's lying on the floor and you kick him on his face, nobody cares because he's dead. So here he says again, you can find out rascal Mahatma simply by changing dress, without Krishna consciousness, declaring himself as God or Krishna. Kick on their face. Krishna is different from all these rascals. And so here's another one. He says, the washerman loads the ass with tons of cloth, and whole day he works for the washerman, carrying tons of cloth. But at the end of the day, he is offered a morsel of grass, and he is satisfied. And by eating that grass, when he is sexually impulse, he goes to the she-ass, and the she-ass kicks on his face. And still, he runs after the she-ass. The karmis are like that. They are also like that. Therefore, they have been called mudha. So when he's talking about kick on the face, when he uses that, he's using it, and he says the she-ass kicks on the face of the male ass. So when he's using the phrase kick on his face, he means kick on the face. That's what he means. And I'm not trying to read anything into it. I'm trying to understand what he's saying. Because I always understood him to mean kick on the face. That's just what I always understood Prabhupada to mean. But this guy wants to say, no, Prabhupada says that figuratively. He says, this is material world. They are saying, don't. There is no God. We don't care for God. We are, everyone, God. But Maya, the police force, is there kicking on the face, and they are subjected to so many tribulations, miserable conditions of life. Here again, he says, As soon as the soul is out of this body, what is the value of this lump of matter? It will be thrown in the street, and somebody will kick on the face. Nobody will care. Nobody will care. But so long the soul is there, if you touch the hair even, why are you touching my hair? But when the soul is not there on the same face, if somebody kicks, nobody will care. So here he says, so now go back to the writer of this article, he says, so remember, Prabhus, you don't have to think like a monk to know that fools and rascals thrive only when the good are silenced for whatever reason. In fact, physically kicking on faces can be practically seen producing the opposite result. You will get yourself labeled as a violent terrorist. So then he says, so we should do as Prabhupada always did and kick on the face with fearless logic and reasoning that never compromises. Dude was tripping. So, kick on the face. I mean, so, chemist on sniffing trip. His tobacco was definitely. So, if he says it's thrown on the street and will be kicked in the face, does that mean people walking by and not noticing? I think what he's saying is, that the body, the human body, is only valuable or important as long as it's living. Once it dies, nobody cares about the body. In fact, if a dead body is laying in the street and you kick it in the face, nobody's going to care because he's already dead. I think that's what he's saying. I'm pretty sure that's what he's trying to say. So he's saying that, you know, nobody cares about a dead body. They only care about the living body. Once the body's dead, you can kick it on the face and no one's going to care. So the reason I said that is because every time Prabhupada uses the term kick on the face, he's using it in a literal sense. Kicking a dead body in the street, you kick it in the face, no one cares. The she-ass kicks the male ass in the face when it wants sex. And it doesn't care, it still wants sex. It keeps going back even though it's getting kicked in the face. So while Prabhupada is saying kick on their face, these gurus, whatever, kick on their face, these avatars, they say they're Krishna, kick on their face. I kick on their face. Now, he could be saying metaphorically, you know, I defeat them, but I just don't know. I always, me personally, whenever I read Prabhupada saying kick on their face, it meant kick on their face. That's what it meant, and that's all I'm getting. So I don't know. I'm asking for if anyone else has an idea what Prabhupada means when he says kick on their face. You can, you know, we know that he was not a she. He says Hare Krishna is it's not a non-violent movement. We're not non-violent. He says violence has its place. You kick on their face. You kick on their face. That's when violence is necessary. When these fake gurus claim to be God or claim to be this or that, you can kick them on their face. Now, who's going to really go up to, like, you know, some guru or Dalai Lama and kick them in the face? Right? Who's going to do that? But that's exactly what Prabhupada is saying. That's what he's saying to do. That's what he's saying to do. He's saying to kick him in the face. And there's a lot of other places where he says that. Now, I want to talk about something else here that I brought up before, and I saw this posted on this pod webpage, and I wanted to address this. Because it's bothering me a little bit because I personally was involved. I personally know. So this Naranarayan was a devotee, early devotee, joined in like 68 or 69. Early devotee. He built so many things for Prabhupada. He was like a carpenter. He built vyasasans. He built temples. He built altars. He built a lot of stuff. This guy did a lot of service for Prabhupada. Not that that means anything, but that's who this guy was. This Naranarayan guy. Old-time devotee, very old guy. He passed away. He was an old-time devotee. A lot of letters from Prabhupada. You can look him up in the Vedabase. You'll find... Here, I'll show you. Let's see. No, I'm not going to show you. If you type in Naranarayan in the Vedabase, you find all these letters that Prabhupada wrote to him and about him. I knew the guy. He used to come to my house all the time. He'd come because we would have programs. My house was like the Ritvik temple, and he was good friends with Yashoda. So Yashoda Nandan and Naranarayan went way back to the early days, and they were like buddies. Now Naranarayan was a little wacky, as they all are. Naranarayan had a very nice, very young wife. And I'll let her speak because she wrote this and he published it on his webpage. So this is for public. This is for the public to read, for everybody to know. Here it is. It's right here on his webpage. And so I've mentioned him many times and mentioned her many times. And so now here's her story. And she says, it says, Sri Rupa Manjari Dasi. And I guess this was part of a conversation that she was having somewhere else. And this pod guy decided to post this on his page. And she says, I agree, Naranarayan Vishvakarma was my karma, full stop. But at the same time, it is vitally important to always call a spade a spade. The man very nearly murdered me on more than one occasion. Okay, now that right there says a lot. And she went along with this guy. That's how brainwashed she was. Well, we all were, but that's how brainwashed she was. He tried to kill her. He tried to murder her more than once, and she did not leave him. And so then she says, this is not an exaggeration. She says, he tortured me and his other wives, Dina, Nischintya, and others, and was a debauchee, addicted to sex, even into old age. He was truly a monster, and the very last thing he said to me, upon which I finally left, were the words, Prabhupada was wrong. She goes on and she says, so after 8.5 years of hell, he revealed his true opinion, so I left. So she didn't leave. She didn't leave because he tried to kill her twice. She left because he said Prabhupada was wrong. So after 8.5 years of hell, she endured, in her own words, she endured 8.5 years of hell and 2 attempted murders, but only left when he said that Prabhupada was wrong. She says, so I left, losing everything in the process, notably my 10-month-old son, who is now 10 years old. I'm sorry to hear that. No child should have to suffer because of this cult. I don't know what happened to her son. I hope he's okay. And she says she lost him, so I don't know. I guess maybe she doesn't have custody of him anymore. I don't know. It sounds sad. But she's in a cult, and she can't break away from this cult even after being having 2 attempted murders, 2 murder attempts on her. She still couldn't leave. So maybe it's best that that child is out of her hands. I don't know. So she goes on and she says, but yes, there is no doubt that Naranarayan also performed many Herculean feats for ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada. I just wonder as to his motives, but what he did presumably still counts, at least on some level, in God's eyes. So that shows you the level of delusion that these people have. This woman suffered 8.5 years of hell. She says he tried to kill her twice. He tormented his other wives, which I recently said that he had numerous marriages and many children in Los Angeles, including one with this woman. This woman was younger than his daughter. This Rupa Manjari Dasi that wrote this thing, very young woman, and Naranarayan was a very old man. Another interesting thing that she says here is, there is no doubt that Naranarayan performed many Herculean feats for ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada. She's definitely in the cult. She's deep in it. But what he did presumably still counts, at least on some level. So she's hook, line, and sinker into this cult, even though her husband, whom she defended over and over, was a very early devotee, had much devotion, much personal time with Prabhupada, was in the Hare Krishnas his entire life. Joined when he was like in college, or I don't know, college. Was in it his whole life. He did have a job. He did some. He was in the Hare Krishnas, and then I don't know what he did later on, like in the 80s and 90s. He had some business. I don't know, some kind of business. But he was in it his whole life. His whole life dedicated to this thing. So now, that just shows you how Stockholm Syndrome by the book. Yeah, I mean, hardcore. Got to go. Hey, thanks for stopping by. It's great to have you here. You keep up the good work, too. It's awesome. So now I just wanted to go over what this pod character has to say regarding this situation. Because, of course, Pod's going to make it all out about himself. He says, so this pod character says, yeah, in 1998, we had to help the children victims have the GBC sued for mass child molesting. This guy didn't help anybody do anything. He says, and Naranarayan started to oppose me and say that Pod is destroying the golden body of ISKCON. And he gathered a small band of devotees like Krishna Cult, Sanat, Mukunda, and others to attack Pod. Later on, that group was joined by HKC, Mathurapati, Prabhupada knew everybody. Everybody hates this guy, including Naranarayan. So anytime anyone says anything about this guy, you get added to this list, his long enemies list, that somehow he says, since I was in Los Angeles at the time, Naranarayan and company, he can't just address one person, because I know because I got added to that list. I got added to that list of names. Saying that he was destroying ISKCON was meant to make me a target for possible assassination. So he says, okay, Naranarayan was trying to get me killed. So if you criticize this guy, then you're trying to get him killed because you're just ganging up with all these other people that want to get him killed, and that's the way this cult mental illness works on these people. They completely go insane. They go insane. No one's trying to kill this guy. Nobody's ganging up on him. Everybody's just calling him out for the lying piece of shit that he is, and he doesn't like it. I told him he was a lying piece of shit when he was lying about me. I know how this guy acts. Narayan was probably a horrible, disgusting person. I'm not here to defend Narayan at all. His wife suffered. All of his wives have suffered. Rupa Manjari suffered. That little 10-year-old boy suffered. All of Narayan's 18 kids are suffering, or however many kids he has. They're all suffering because of this cult, and because of him, and because of Prabhupada. So I'm not here to defend Narayan. But for this guy to try to say that Narayan was trying to have him killed, that he was trying to attack him, and that he's defending these guys. I know that Narayan was not defending ISKCON. Now, he says Narayan was, in short, a misogynist and a serial womanizing predator, and he was using ISKCON as a vehicle to find vulnerable devotee women whom he could pounce on, put his grubby mitts on, and snatch up and prey upon. I believe that he probably was. Most likely he was. And I would say that a lot of ISKCON men are doing the exact same thing, just like that Gaurahari. Gaurahari, Narayan, Yashodanandan. They don't give a shit about women. They don't care about women. Child marriage, if you believe in child marriage and you believe that women are less intelligent and have a small brain, how can you be anything except a misogynist, sexist, woman-hating, womanizing predator? You want grown men to marry little girls? 12-year-old girls? 11-year-old girls? 13-year-old girls? This pod guy, he acts like he's the defender. Look at this guy, man. This pod guy acts like he's the defender of all the children. He says, of course, Narayan is also the father of saying pod is a liar, which simply aided and abetted the sexual abusers of children process by discrediting us. He says, and these same people wanted me taken out. They are clearly birds of a feather. Anyway, Rupa Manjari is a victim, in my opinion, and I wish her well. Yeah, I wish her well, too. She is a victim. But for this pod guy to try to claim that he is the defender of children, he's the one who's helping. He says, so pod says, Srila Prabhupada says, when a guru has sex with a follower, it is the same as a father having sex with his own daughter. And thus, these senior devotee exploiter people are not a whole lot different, in my opinion. So a person who exploits others for sex will naturally not be happy when pod tries to prevent other exploiters. How is pod trying to prevent other exploiters when he's promoting the same pedophilia in Prabhupada's books? Pod is promoting Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada says 12-year-old girls have to be married to 25-year-old men. How is pod? Pod's not speaking out against that. Pod doesn't speak out against that. Pod promotes Madhu Pandit in the Bangalore temple, who has Tattva Darshan sitting on his Vyasasan giving lectures. How is Pod not supporting that? According to Pod's logic, Yashodanandan goes out and spends time with Tattva Darshan. Pod and Yashodanandan are best buddies. So how is Pod not supporting Tattva Tattva Darshan? How is Pod not supporting this pedophilia and this child marriage when he's saying we must read Prabhupada's books and that Prabhupada's the guru? He says, so I feel bad for these women and their children. Well, how do you feel bad for these women and children when you're promoting the crap in Prabhupada's books that says that women and children, that women are less intelligent, have small brains, and little girls should be married? How are you protecting women? How are you doing anything except exploiting women? Sounds like you're exploiting women too. It sounds like you're one of the exploiters because you want child marriage and you say women have small brains and they're less intelligent, they're 9 times lustier than men, they like to be raped. You support all of this crap. How are you doing anything except helping them exploit these women? Pod's full of shit. He's the biggest piece of shit there is. Acting like he's doing something for somebody. Acting like he ever did anything for anybody. He's never done shit for anybody but himself. Guy used to dress up like a gopi and read Chaitanya Charitamrita. And cross-dressing piece of shit. That's what Pod is. And he wants to paint himself as the friggin' protector of women and children. Fuck him. He ain't a protector of nothing. The only thing he protects is himself. By not giving his name, not putting his face on the internet, not going live like I do, not authoring anything that says his name on it. He doesn't want anybody to know who he is. He's a big fucking coward. He's a big fucking coward. He's a piece of shit coward who defends Prabhupada's pedophilia and all of that crap. Pod has the martyr syndrome. Yeah, he's just pissed off that Salochan got killed and he didn't. Nobody cares about Pod. Nobody's trying to take him out. Nobody gives a fuck about him. ISKCON doesn't give a fuck about him. And that's what pisses him off, is nobody gives a fuck about him. The only people that give a fuck about him are the fucking nuts that think he's the greatest thing ever. And Yashodananda is like his friggin' alter ego. Puranjan and Yashodananda is like the two sides of the same coin. You got the good side and the bad side, except they're both bad. This Pod's a piece of shit. He says, these same people wanted me taken out. They just want you to shut the fuck up. ISKCON wants you to shut up because they don't like what you're saying, and then everybody that thinks the same way that you do want you to shut up because you're just a big fucking piece of shit. Nobody cares. All you're doing is spreading pedophilia and spreading all of Prabhupada's crap. You think you're doing something for somebody? You ain't doing shit for nobody. You're doing shit for nobody. And so now, it's time for the wheel of idiot. Let's get to the wheel, yeah. Bing, 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 bing. The wheel of idiot. Da, 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 da. All right, let me get into my little spot here. Where am I go? All right. So, we're going to spin this to see where it lands. Hopefully it's going to land on somebody we haven't seen before so we can pull them up and introduce them to the audience and show them what a big idiot they are. All right, and we got our theme music. Where's my theme music? Here we go. Yes, absolutely. All right, so let's give this thing a spin of the old wheel. Bing, and we're off and running. Ooh, where's it gonna go? Padri Narayan Swami. Woo! I think we've seen him before, but we're gonna take another look at him again. Yes, spinning the wheel. Let's see if we can find this Padri Narayan character, big GBC guy. Padri Narayan, another fucking idiot brainiac. All right, let's see if we can find this Padri Narayan. He's a big, whoops, he's a GBC guy. Let's see. Oh, this is recent. Another one who spent his whole life cosplaying. Oh, the San Diego Temple a couple days ago. Padri Narayan is in Italy right now. These guys are always traveling. They are always on vacation. Always doing something. Yay, Padri Narayan. Yay. There he is. Let's get right to it here. Let's get to the good stuff.
Students were coming. And a lot of it was going on by barter system. You know, one of the students was a dentist, another one, you know, had a farm, and this one. And everything was going on. They were supplying him milk and medical care, and you know, everything was going on. KGB, you can't do that in the workers' paradise. So he thought, well, what to do? They said, we're going to throw you in jail. He didn't stop. They threw him in jail. He thought, you know, at home, those were students, and they're all young, and they're at the apex of life, and they're enjoying, you know, but people in prison, they're suffering. They really understand that this world is phantasmagoria. This is Krishna's mercy. He continued preaching in jail. They said, hey, you don't stop. We're going to throw you into the gulag. We're sending you off to Siberia. He didn't stop. They shipped him off to Siberia. He thought, actually, he said, you know, in the common jail, you got muggers and thieves, and you know, it's kind of a low-class audience, generally speaking, you know. So, but in the gulag, in the Soviet, you know, Siberian penal system, these are, you know, what are prisoners of conscience? These are, you know, political people, and you know, religious. Christians wouldn't give it up, you know. So these are people of character. He said, this is a better audience, Krishna's mercy. Finally, they told him,
what in God's holy name are you blathering about?
No more cigarettes, no more meat, no more vodka. They thought that'll break him. He wasn't taking those things anyway. He was just bartering them. He'd give them away for an apple or something, you know. But, and he was only in, I can say only, but you can even, one day in that place is torture. But he was in for about 5 years. And then they, you know, you have a sentence, and then they let you out. So the thing is.
Oh, my evil twin. My evil twin. Can you imagine, like, where am I here? Where's my... Can you imagine going to a temple to listen to a class about Krishna and, you know, internal potency, or the, I don't know what, and you end up listening to this guy babbling on about Russian jail and gulags, and I know he's talking about, I don't know, a devotee or something in jail, but These guys and their bullshit lectures, man. Now that I'm out and I listen to this, I'm not mesmerized. I am not flabbergasted or just like, wow, that was really none of that. It is none of that.
Is text 30. If one hears about the uncommon activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his various incarnations, such a person is certainly elevated to the higher planetary systems or even brought home back to God.
Hey, so there you had it, right? He hit the space travel right on the nose. He said one who is doing all of that devotional service, and here's the stories. Here's the stuff. Here's about devotional service. Here's these stories about Krishna. Is certainly to be elevated to a heavenly planet. You will space travel, and you may even space travel back to Goloka Vrindavan and get that 11-year-old little girl body so you can have sex with Krishna. So there you heard it straight from Badri Narayan's mouth, right from the source, from one of the GBC gurus, that hearing and chanting Hare Krishna will cause you to space travel to another planet. So, hey, what? There you go. So, hey, once again, time flies, man. Time flies when you're just having fun with these Hare Krishnas. I hope all of you new people out there that watching this for the first time got to see a little bit of something. You got to hear a little bit different perspective. You got to hear from some people who used to be in it, and me included, and you kind of heard some testimonials about riding on that bus, chanting Hare Krishna, and little girls, and the abuse, the domestic abuse, the child abuse, all of that. I mean, we hit a lot of it today. We covered a lot of bases today. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want, if you have any videos, I mean, Rafael sends videos all the time. He sent some of these videos in that we watched today. If you have any videos or any links you want me to check out and we can all watch together and discuss, definitely send those over to me. Leave a comment. Send those over to me. I'll be more than happy to run the tape. So everybody, please have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon, wherever you are. Please have some great luck. Stay out of a cult. And for those new people out there that have never seen this before, here's me as a Hare Krishna many years ago. Bye, everybody.